It's you. Came back. Guess you wanted a tour of the backyard then. Well, come on, I'll give you a tour and you can see what we're growing back here. Welcome to the side patio. This is the beginning of the backyard tour. It's about 110 degrees today. The heat index, currently I think it's 85. So I'm gonna make this as quick as possible. Also, some of you have complained that anything over 10 minutes is too long. So again, I will try to shrink the tour down as quickly as possible. Here you might see in frame hydrangeas. If not, shoot some footage. Down here, which you also may not see, my wife planted up some lovely annual pots to go on either end of our raised bed. We have a tomato plant. First time ever growing a tomato plant. I've never grown a tomato plant. So far, I haven't killed it. This is good. In the raised bed currently, we have some carrots, some green beans, peas, which I need to pull out because they've had the end of their lives. Some more green beans, which are growing up now. Lilies. Further back, which I will shoot in a minute, or give you a different angle on. We have some mint, lilies, Mexican sunflower, more lilies, and more annual pots. Over here I have some pots of herbs. You have basil, parsley. Sorry about the air conditioner. Like I said, it's about 110 today. But pots of herbs, parsley, basil. I think there's something else in there too. Maybe chive. No. Some various lilies, little greenhouse that we can. It gets a lot of afternoon sun, midday and afternoon sun over here. So we put a little greenhouse over here for starting various little seedlings, plants, etc. So I'll probably be putting a tray of cornflower in there soon, so I can have some late summer, early fall color in the front yard. On the table we have various plants. I'll take close-ups of all this later that need to get potted out, various stages. Cucumber. I built this wonky looking trestle. So the vine, I didn't know cucumber was a vine until last year when we first started planting it. So it has been growing up this trestle. And my wife has already harvested, I think, 3 or 4 cucumbers off of it. So I think I want a taste of one of those cucumbers on the next one. So, and then we have a little path that then goes out to the rest of the backyard. So I will show you that next. Okay, so hot in the sun. Sorry if the light is weird. I'm not a filmographer. Whatever. I'm not good at filming, but what I am hopefully going to do is show you the rest of this garden. So we have more daylilies, hostas, ferns, another lily, more hostas. There's a succulent tucked in there. Again, I'll try to capture some of this on B-roll footage there. More hostas. My wife has planted up some annuals in here, along with more hostas, more succulents. Ornamental onion tucked in the corner. We have this lovely rock border. The rock border we put in probably about 10 years ago. We've lived here for about 15 years. Heat's cooking my brain, so math was never my strong suit. So yeah, my math is probably off. But we wanted to define the borders obviously somehow. So we were lucky enough to come across a lot of rock. River rock, various other stone, and we use that to define the edges. So yeah, I'm in the sun again, sorry. So off to the left hand side of the patio we have another little garden. Back in the corner we have some coneflower. A lot of this is iris. Sadly, unfortunately, you've all missed it blooming. Maybe next year we'll get some footage of that. Believe this is the black-eyed Susan, more coneflower, an iris, which you also sadly failed. Sorry, I didn't shoot it. If you go to my Instagram account, you'll probably catch a lot of photos of a lot of these flowers when they were in bloom. Heuchera, More black-eyed Susan and coneflower, and tucked in the back, just growing now, is hydrangea. So a few years ago, obviously you can see the maple, and maples tend to have their roots pop on the surface of the soil. This becomes a nightmare for mowing and various other reasons, so trip hazards, etc. So what we did was we extended the flower beds this year, or actually starting last year, around the maple to an extent where we could stop tripping over roots and things like that. My wife has begun planting up various annuals, Hoconi grass, I believe, hostas of all shapes, sizes, varieties, more annuals. She's attempting to grow a pumpkin, I believe, back over here, so I will get some close-up footage of that, which will be lovely. Succulents, more annuals, more hostas. As you can see, the area is mostly in shade. It does get some afternoon sun, but for the most part, most of this area is in shade most of the day. Around the tree, we've mulched with leaf litter, leaf debris, leaves. So grind them up in a shredder, and then you can create leaf mold, which is essentially just rotted down leaves. I'll probably do a whole nother video on that at some point in time. But if you don't let them fully rot down, if you just take the shredded leaves, they can act as a mulch, and this way then you don't have to buy 50 bags or have mulch delivered and dumped on your driveway. You actually have a natural mulch here, which will suppress the grasses from growing and most of the weeds, which is nice. So, and then of course, coming all the way back around here, we have more Hoconi grass waiting to be planted out, more hostas, something which I don't remember the name of, but it is quite lovely. 9 barks, and I'll get to the rest of that in a second. Okay, had some audio technical difficulties there. Hopefully this audio comes out better. As I was saying, more hostas, heuchera, both grow well in shade, and the backyard being predominantly shade, we have a lot of hostas and heucheras. So yeah, right here behind me, beside me, is a lilac tree. Real funny story on how we got that, and I'll make it brief. Was driving to see family, and my wife said stop the car in front of a garden center, which I did. Pulled in, she jumped out, came back to the car with little trees like this, which we then stuffed into the car. Now, they do have a beautiful flower in springtime, and unfortunately it's July, so you're not seeing that. So maybe I'll capture video footage of that next year. Along the back, we have some verbena, I believe is the name of the bush. Lots of annuals along the base here. Again, the rock border continues on. Various irises, tulips, alliums. There's a lot of bulbs back here. Sadly, unfortunately, many of them have bloomed or past bloomed. Again, it is July. I apologize for that. Should have gotten the footage earlier. Again, lots of annuals. Oak leaf hydrangea, which I think is pretty cool. Big oak style leaves, type leaves, and it's a hydrangea, so it's sort of a, yeah, it's cool. At least I think it is. Whew. Okay, so yes, the back garden extends to this corner, and back here we have the compost piles, twigs to be shredded up to be used as mulch. Oh, rain barrel, bins for leaf mold, and various other accoutrements. So, is that even a word? I think it's a word. Anyways, believe these are, they're hydrangeas. I was just trying to think of the type, and I cannot remember for the life of me, so maybe I'll put that on the bottom of the video there. Underneath, which you really can't see right now, we have more Hoconi grass. The hydrangea is sort of flopping over a little bit right now due to the heavy and lovely blooms, so which I'll capture all that. Our greenhouse, Right now it's not doing much of anything. It does get a lot of sunlight in the springtime, but during the summertime it's mostly in shade. It is also a potting shed and also where we store most of our tools. So it's a multi-purpose shed, which is cool. There's not much to see on this side. We had some forsythia, and they were massive, just absolutely massive. So earlier this year, my wife really hacked them back. They were literally nubs on the ground. And as you can see now, they're growing up quite well. Forsythia it's beautiful, has a beautiful yellow flower in the springtime. Has nice green foliage, but it's like a weed. It's just like a weed. You just hack it, grows back. But now that they've been trimmed back hard, I think hopefully we can keep them to a size and scale that we would like going forward in the future. Over here, another oak leaf hydrangea. This one is massive. It should probably be back, but I kind of like it so big and large. And I don't know if you can or should trim back oak leaf hydrangea. Woo. Speaking is not a strong suit. And this is the last part of the back garden, as it were, the space on the other side of the house. We have Azalea, hostas, these hostas, and this astilbe over here. I like to, well, they are a defining edge or defining space, border to a space. And this space back here, I like to call my wild garden. There's a path that leads to back sunroom, and then there's another path that leads around to the side. It's a mown path. There are no defined edges or borders, and that's mainly because, again, trying to go with a looser, natural feel in a sense. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know if you've caught on to that yet, but I'm trying. Right here, all this lovely green, if you don't recognize it, is lily of the valley. It is a great ground cover. You can mow it, it'll grow back. It grows via rhizomes underneath the ground, and it can be a tad invasive. So you have to sort of control it if you don't want to take over your whole yard. If I didn't do anything to this space, if I didn't mow the lawn, let's say for 5 years, most of the backyard would be covered with the lily of the valley. It would just eventually creep out, kill the grass and everything else it encountered just by covering the ground, because it is a very thick ground cover. Along the edge over here, I have some ferns. I believe the spotted plants are lungworts. More heuchera. Because the space is dark, I got a bright colored heuchera. So I think one is called lime green, lime light. So, and I have an ostrich fern back here, which I'm very excited about. It's supposed to get about this tall. I don't know if it will. Of course, giant oak tree. Corner I haven't decided what to do with. Space I haven't decided. So, and that's pretty much it. That's pretty much the garden. Various different spaces serving various different things. It's July, not much is in bloom. It's 110. Hope you've enjoyed the tour. If you did, hit the like button. If you didn't, hit the dislike button, but I'd really prefer you didn't do that. Also subscribe, because I would like to do, and I'm going to do, a lot more videos going forward in the future, showing you all the various things that I'm doing in the garden. And that's it for now. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.